Some very interesting news about Joe Rogan's podcast and Spotify. As we covered earlier, there were some problems with some Spotify employees in revolt over Rogan's podcast in general. Well, now we can learn from digital media outlet, let's throw that up there on the screen, some Spotify employees are demanding direct editorial oversight over Joe Rogan's podcast before they are published. So that would include, according to this, content flags, trigger warnings, references to fact-checked information, or seemingly refusing to publish an episode at all. Pretty amazing.
Oh
so
my God,
what we
poor
know,
Joe.
I know, poor guy. All indications so far are that the Spotify CEO has basically told the employees to shove it. But according to the Digital Music News, there have been over 10 meetings inside Spotify all around Rogan's problematic decisions. These people are the biggest narcissists on the planet. They are, they're trying to destroy what makes the product so great.
Yeah,
and it's just utterly ridiculous. Which is, all of a sudden, like, they need to censor. I could go through on Spotify right now and find 10 times more other problematic lyrics in songs. Do they go and do they censor lyrics in songs? Go look at some of the stuff, the smut which is in the top 100. And hey, whatever, free speech. But so then you're going to go after Joe Rogan on his podcast and demand fact checks and trigger warnings and all this other nonsense. It is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I'm very glad to see the CEO standing up to his employees, but beware, people. These are the people that control what you see, what you hear, how we digest our information, and it scares the hell out of me.
Well, I think your point is the right one, which is the whole reason that Joe's podcast is so popular is because it hasn't been just completely sanitized and made to fit into this very narrow lane of conversation, bland media, prepackaged conversation that you get everywhere else, where if you go to the outlet, you basically know what you're going to get. You know what the opinions are going to be. Right. It's incredibly repetitive. It is a riskier podcast, right? From the guests that he has on, the conversations that he's willing to engage in, all of those things. Yeah, and that's exactly why it's so popular and why people love it. I can't imagine anything worse than some committee of disgruntled employees wanting to have you say over all of your editorial content and trigger warnings. We're going to put in fact checks and maybe we're going to pull the episode all together. A couple other pieces here that, of course, we've been talking about is, number one, some of his podcasts, the library, some of them were missing. They removed some of the more controversial episodes. Some of them were understandable. I think Alex Jones was taken out. Some of them you were kind of okay, I see why they made that decision. And others you're wait, this person, why? Yeah. It was just sort of inexplicable. And then you also had the situation last week that I don't think we talked about here, but there was this conspiracy that the Oregon wildfires had been sparked by left-wing activists setting fires, and this was running rampant in right-wing media. Joe said something about it on the show. Instantly, everyone was oh my God, you can't say that because it's not true, But he came out with an abject apology, to try to make it right. But yeah, I just can't imagine how much it would change the character of the show to have this type of, fact check by committee and guardrails put on the program. It just wouldn't be the same show.
It would ruin it, and it just goes to show these people want to ruin everything good in all of our lives. So anyway, that's the update. Thank God to Spotify. Daniel Elk, I salute you.
All right, tomorrow on Rising, Tara Palmieri is going to discuss Season 2 of her podcast, Broken, Seeking Justice, and Associate Professor of History at Princeton and Jacobin contributor Matt Karp is going to share his thoughts on the Supreme Court nomination. He wrote a really interesting piece that's worth diving
he's great.
into.
I can't wait to actually bring it to all of you guys. So remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Don't forget to like and share as well. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Have a great day, guys.